money, right?
It is bleeding out here. Yet again, I'm so desensitized to all this crap now. It's honestly incredible. But also, never financial advice ever. But it's like if you invest what you're willing to lose, obviously the sting would still hurt if it went up high and then went down low. Like, but everyone's financial situation is obviously different. But it's just I've been in this long enough, and a lot of the OG guys, they're like, it's really nothing to worry about. My only concern, yet again, like I mentioned in one of the last ones, is what if this is the vampire stake through the heart for Michael Saylor? What if this is the moment they go for it? Because this is all, we're going to go into why. So am I the only one that finds it interesting that XRP ETFs and DATs are launching at the exact same time? These guys are sitting on a hot seat after years of Bitcoin and Ethereum media promotion. There are no coincidences. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't look at this stuff and not realize just how utterly insane it all is when it's like, we've been saying it the whole time. Do I think, in my bones, I think Bitcoin is going to end up pulling a fucking absolute, just what I'm thinking. But then on my same hand, I'm worrying that this is the moment that of the shiny new toys like Toy Story, Solana, XRP ETFs, you see in the outflows go into there. But the main thing that's kind of causing this is when we had that flash crash. One of the main things, there's a lot going on. The flash crash October 10th. We had a bunch of people, I think even Tom Lee was one of them too, talking about how we won't feel the full ramifications of this yet until a couple of weeks out. And we're a couple of weeks out. And there's a clip of him talking about last time, I think during the FTX collapse or last bear market, whatever the hell he was talking about 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8. And according to where we are right now, it would be that we have about 2 more weeks of downward pressure. A lot can happen in 2 more weeks, but at the same time, Scott Bessent and Trump, they're floating around that they're going to announce the China trade deal before Thanksgiving is what they were aiming for. They want a good win. I feel like I'm trying to always think of it too from the lens of like a political landscape. And like I was saying, what the kind of grand scheme of the plan, not that I'm the only one to figure this out, but, or maybe figured it out. That's what we're just thinking. They kind of wanted to rip the Band-Aid off. It was an inevitable rip off of the Band-Aid. Like, you can only kick this can down the road for so far. But yeah, I think they want this shit pumping and booming and getting a check in people's hands for midterms. It just seems like that's what they need. I think they know. You'd think they would know that the support that they had initially is kind of fading, you know? I think you'd hope they know that. So then they're like, all right, we're going to try to buy these motherfuckers. All right, give me $2,000. I'll take $2,000. I'll put it in my fucking crypto honey day fund. I'll gladly do that. And that's exactly what happened during COVID. Stocks, everything, soaring. That's on the assumption they follow through with that. But that's just like from a political lens, that would be the ultimate move. If they could pull that off. Yeah, I wonder if it's time to throw the patsies to the road. That's almost what it feels like is going to happen, bro. Because yet again, if they're going to go for that heart of Michael Saylor and have that be... Because listen, every time we've gone through one of these FTX... Just general bear market sentiment, I guess, over like actual bear market territory. It's so dramatic, the sentiment online. It's the lowest it's ever been, I think, at 6 on the Fear and Greed Index. And during FTX, I think it was 8. So the sentiment right now, meanwhile, all the fundamentals, and I list everything off in all these videos of what's on the horizon. In this, like, okay, maybe the short term, you know, it's kind of going crazy, but you don't think, like, look out a fucking year or two. You're going to be thinking, Christ, you probably held them. Never financial advice, some of these projects. Yeah, the Fear and Greed Index is now at 6. I don't think I've ever seen it this low. Bullish, which is crazy saying extreme fear equals bullish, but it does, dude, because that means, like, we're at the bottom. Like, I'm sure they're going to drag us down a little bit more, but we're almost fucking there, dude. It's worse than FTX. What? Nothing's even, like, dude, everything's bullish. Everything's bullish beyond belief. Everyone's working with banks and fucking Swift. I mean, all of it. All the connections are now happening. ISO also goes live tomorrow or a couple of days. All right, so Tom Lee says Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto, oh my God, are crashing due to a software bug. Yeah, I saw this title and I was like, eh.
You know, I think the crypto market...
Let's hear this bullshit is what it sounds like, but let's hear it.
...has been limping along since October 10th. Because on that date was a negative shock. I mean, today's stock market looks a lot like an echo of what happened October 10th. But on October 10th, that liquidation was so big, Brian, it...
People really don't understand, dude. The ramifications of that would come weeks later. How many people behind the scenes got caught with their pants down, but they're trying eagerly to like contain that information and shit.
Really crippled market makers.
Yeah, exactly.
And our market makers are critical in crypto because they provide liquidity. I mean, they act almost as the central bank in crypto.
Yeah, for
and
real.
If they've got a hole in their balance sheet that they need to raise capital for, they need to reflexively reduce their balance sheet, reduce trading, and if prices fall, they've got to then do more selling. So I think that this drip that's been taking place for the last few weeks in crypto reflects this market maker crippling. And so in 2022, it took
It's crazy. We're agreeing with Tom Lee. That's insane.
weeks for that to really get flushed out. We're only 6 weeks into it. So I
6 to
kind
8.
of concur. I think crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum are in some ways a leading indicator for equities because of that unwind and now this sort of limping and weakened liquidity.
Well,
Yeah, but when the rocket takes off-
that was the point that my very, very smart team behind me, we put together for the top of the show, which was showing that Bitcoin turned down today before the market did. All right, take us back. So October 6th, I think it was October 6th or 7th, Bitcoin hit 100.
Dude, people really don't realize the theatrics behind this whole thing. It's like now that the market's doing bad, now CNBC has to prolong that and amplify it and create the illusion to everybody in the masses that like things are the worst they ever are. Like you should not invest in the market right now. But then like I don't know if you're seeing all this and you know what's coming. It's literally the ultimate discount. It's fucking insane.
125,000. Yeah, a couple days later, it was still around 120,000. Now, obviously, Bitcoin's at 86 and change. So what specifically occurred on or around October 10th that would lead us to where we are now on what, November 20th?
Yeah. Well, Steve actually pointed this out. There's a lot of what they call automated processes in crypto. One of them is called ADL, okay, and that's an automatic liquidation feature that would take place if someone's account or their collateral drops in price. It's essentially like a margin call. On a specific exchange,
isn't it a minute of this?
Stablecoin's price varied from other exchanges. It actually, stablecoin should stay at $1. It dropped to 65 cents.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I want my stablecoin fucking dropping from 65 to $1. Yeah, I'm sure that's reliable. That's what I mean, dude. These fucking institutions and everything, they need trust. Like, it's not even that fucking hard. There's a handful of them that are in bed with these guys actively getting shit
done. But that only happened within the exchange.
Link is making moves, dude.
Quotes within this exchange because of liquidity. That
fucking seeing that price cut, I'm looking at that. I'm like, I might
trigger an ADL, an automatic liquidation across many accounts. It wiped out as that spread across other exchanges, right? Because liquidations cascade. Almost 2 million crypto accounts got wiped out, even though minutes before they were actually profitable accounts.
So who is behind this? Like, who's the they?
Yeah, who is the fucking? Is it Klaus Schwab from the shadow?
In the market makers, and they got hit. Who's the they?
I'm just joking, but.
Well, Brian,
Yeah, that's exactly the thing. If this is what's going on, they need contagion on that fucking name from leaking like you couldn't imagine.
I am aware of names, but because I'm not someone who wants to name names, I think what you should keep in mind is that this error is actually essentially a bug, a code error, because I think in retrospect they would have pulled pricing from across exchanges to set the price for that stablecoin rather than rely on internal quotes. But this has resulted in a lot of market makers and traders having less capital, and as you know, as crypto prices drift lower because trading volumes drop, they need to then have more capital available, which means they shrink their balance sheet further. So this is then that reflexive weakening.
I want to go back to this point, Tom. I hate the term glitch. I can't stand the term glitch because, things go down at the airport and they say, well, a glitch clause, your flight did not take off. That's not a glitch. That's more than a glitch. It's a word that is used to describe pretty serious automation issues, software problems, crashes, for some reason that they try to minimize. Is this some kind of a software bug that's causing part of this? I'm trying to follow exactly what you're hinting around about.
God, this just seems so scripted. It's actually like not a bad question, but it's like, dude, it literally seems like, dude, people call me crazy for this shit, but it feels like legit they need to get a specific fucking narrative off. Like it's a dude tossing his line, act and be like, Tom Lee, isn't this the reason? And then Tom Lee with his fucking biases, who's always thrown in front of this whole fucking network, like giving you the lowdown.
Yeah, I mean, Brian, it is. I mean, for instance, in 1987, portfolio insurance was the quote glitch, and that triggered a cascade in 1987. And so the industry learned and then never offered that again. You know, in 2009, it was really the collateral wasn't secure in real estate in these packaged subprime mortgages. Now, the industry learned and they recoded that. I'm talking about Wall Street, but then regulators came in and like overregulated. That was the negative effect of that. In crypto, this code of ADL and the way they pull prices is never going to happen again. The good news is we're not going to have overregulation in crypto, but now we have to deal with that liquidation effect. 2022 was a big liquidation, and it took 8 weeks. But that is not kind of, you're right. It is the nature of DeFi where there is going to be code and there's going to be an error found, and you said it. Leverage is what's dangerous, and so investors should not be using excess leverage in crypto.
It literally looks like he's reading off of a script, bro. I mean, like, yet again, I mean, I don't think anyone should be fucking using leverage, like, unless you, I don't know, man. Everyone's got to do what they want, but it's like, that's just what's fucking everything up, too. People just being degens and shit. Doesn't mean you can't make money or whatever, but you know what I'm saying. Tom Lee explains why MicroStrategy has been pushed so aggressively down. Let's hear this.
Is MicroStrategy down because Bitcoin is down, or is Bitcoin falling in part because the strategies of the world, the Michael Saylors of the world, have to sell the crypto because their equity is going down? What's the...
Bro, I can never get a clear answer because of course, Michael Saylor would say this when he gets asked this question, and then he's like, no, we will never have to sell. Why do I not buy that? And then people try to explain the debt structure, and it's so fucking overly complicated, just like The Big Short, where it seems like they're making shit up and using insane loopholes and shit. Yeah, something about that doesn't seem right. No, we'll never have to sell. If the Bitcoin, yeah, people are definitely not going to pull the stock, and all absolute panic is going to take place. That's why I think, like, if they want to go for how I said we can't even go lower on fear and greed, if that happens, holy shit, it'll be fucking mayhem, and these guys will be scooping it in pennies on the dollar. I've been saying, I cannot see how BlackRock has not come in yet, and Schwab's coming in, Evernorth's coming in, the more DATs as we're talking about them, but this seems exactly like cause the absolute hellscape shit show with Bitcoin, and XRP is literally having right now all of this. Very busy. They just had fucking Ripple swell. It's like putting out to the world. It's like, you can come here. Like, we're doing things right. Like, we're launching Evernorth, and we're going to do it right. Like, nice business professional, that type of vibe. Doesn't mean other ones aren't doing it too, but...
The chicken, what's the egg?
Yeah. Well, again, you know, because of my world in research and on BitMine, we are really plugged into all the trading desks and all the clients that trade. Anybody who has a sizable Bitcoin long position, okay, let's say it's more than $1 billion, they have very limited ability to hedge it in crypto derivatives, like calls. The max they can do is maybe 5% of their holdings. And then if you go to traditional CME exchanges, their contract sizes prevent someone from hedging $1 billion portfolio. However, someone can use MicroStrategy's options chain, which is so liquid, to hedge all of their crypto. So MicroStrategy is essentially absorbing all the hedging pressure that the crypto industry is trying to do to protect their Bitcoin longs. So the reason MicroStrategy is a leading indicator, it's actually the only convenient way to hedge someone's long is to short MicroStrategy or buy puts. That's what we're seeing today.
Oh, this is getting fucking juicy, bro. We've been talking about this forever. This is weird too. Owen Gundon has now sold all of his 1.3 billion Bitcoin dollars worth of Bitcoin. Owen Gundon was an OG Bitcoin whale who held Bitcoin. Do you hear my stomach, dude? I'm starving. Who held Bitcoin since 2011. Since late October, he has sold 11K Bitcoin worth 1.3 billion. He has just transferred 230 million of BTC to Kraken, marking his final sale. All right, so here we go. More Tom Lee damage control. Got to get it in front of the public because Tom Lee's got credibility because we've given him credibility. Granted, we watched a clip of him years ago, and he was right.
That's the low, and Ethereum...
About something that I honestly can't remember right now.
Bottom's at 2,500. The recovery from there
I'm sure he's been right more times too.
to all-time highs will be faster than the decline. That's what happened.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Say that again, Tom Lee, for people in the back.
The recovery from there to all-time highs will be faster than the decline. That's what happened in every crypto decline, because what you have is all this spooled up energy. People are sitting and waiting, and there's panic selling, forced sellers, but the buyers are being patient. That's what will happen. And again, you guys kind of hit it on the head. MicroStrategy is probably the most important stock to watch right now, because that is the Bitcoin proxy. It's the most liquid name. It seems to me that when in the crypto world, when they're trying to hedge their longs in Bitcoin and Ethereum, they can't find any other way to hedge it except shorting the liquid stocks that
this
are the
reminds
problem. So that's the MicroStrategies.
This is one of, if not the most important interviews I've done this year, and that's respectfully to every other guest we've had on this fine network and fine show, because I want to dive in a little bit deeper to what you're saying. That basically there's some kind of a software coding problem that's causing a lot of this. Let's bring up, guys, if we can, MSTR. That is the company formerly known as MicroStrategy, now just known as Strategy. The stock's down 50% in 3 months, Tom. It's down about 65%.
Here it comes. Too big to fail, Bro, we've seen it fucking time and time again. Bookmark this video. I mean, like, I'm not hoping on the downfall of it, but it seems so fucking crazy if they're able to keep. I feel like they got to take him out and then we move on. I think he's the patsy.
Its highs in the middle of July. Works, or people think they do, but inside that engine, there are gears, there are pistons, there are things that are occurring that for 99.9% of our audience, they don't do this for a living. We get it. This is a really important interview. I'm going to let you go, Tom. We are watching MicroStrategy or Strategy. We're watching Bitcoin, and we're watching possibly 77,000, which you think might be kind of a washout period, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Tom DeMark, who's an advisor to Bitmine,
that'd be low.
Very well known
really
to me.
Giving us a lot of insights. Yeah,
relative.
He's watching that. Actually, MicroStrategy at this level here probably is when you want to ratchet into the longs, and Bitcoin maybe just a few $1,000s lower.
So we might be at a bottom for Strategy.
We might be at a bottom. You can say that. People say that all throughout the bottom. They say it throughout the top. Like,
yeah,
you have no idea. You have no idea. You think anyone that October flash crash was going to happen? How many people drawing rectangles and fucking funnels on a chart? And yeah, I bet they didn't expect that. I bet they didn't expect this either, because I don't know how many people were honestly taken in the market maker situation. You don't think there's a bunch of flames going on in the background after that? You know how many people leveraged? Fucking, they got their balls out. Yeah, so stuff is popping off with Japan says their stimulus package will have an overall economic impact of $265 billion. The Japanese yen just fell to its weakest level against the U.S. dollar since January 2025. Pandemic-like stimulus on the way. But on the same hand, everyone's kind of saying, you know, but now that they're throwing that at the wall, that means the longer race of inflation, stagflation, you know, then that kind of just speeds that up again. But I don't think it's a coincidence that crypto comes along right now at this moment. It seems like they're kind of just going to let it fade into oblivion and come up with some solution, whatever it ends up being. Tokenized gold, I got no fucking idea. Specific US, this is the US stablecoin. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe RLUSD's got fucking, I don't know. Who knows? The theories get crazy, but we're here for that. On the same hand, Jim Cramer, the consistent bullish crypto cheerleaders are due for a full court press using claims of $1 million Bitcoin in 2030 or some other magical nonsense. They need to defeat themselves as they always do. Saylor due from multiple appearances. I will chat GPT what Saylor will say today. This is what I thought immediately. Cramer is bearish on crypto and he's mocking the bullish crowd. In other words, we're going up. Thank you, Cramer. This is not financial advice. Explanation. He's criticizing the hardcore crypto bulls who always shout asinine things like $1 million in 2030. Like we've been saying, when Saylor and Kathy Wood's recent appearance, all of a sudden, they're lowering their target for Q4 for Bitcoin, all of a sudden. He calls those predictions magical nonsense, meaning he thinks they're unrealistic or delusional. I also think I think it's delusion. I can't see it happening. But who the fuck knows? Who knows? Maybe Bitcoin goes on forever and it's number one. He was number one. And then I don't know, dude, craziest story fucking ever imaginable. We look at 10, 12 years and something is above Bitcoin, whatever it is. Whatever it is. And then fucking people growing up then, they're like, what do you mean Bitcoin was number one? What are you talking about? He's saying the cheerleaders will now launch a big PR push, full court press to defend their extreme bullish claims. Seems like that's what we were just watching with Tom Lee. Of course, they got to go out there and do damage control. Of course, they got to get the narrative out. They want to drag this crap sentiment because, yet again, it's not a coincidence. All of these ETFs for Solana and fucking literally all of them, the basket ETFs, like all these products are launching under everybody's nose so the institutions can just come in. I'm not even saying any coin specific, but they want that money. They're coming in right now. Literally under, we're tapped in, but like under fucking everyone's nose. They're accumulating, bitch. This is the time they do it. They don't fucking buy in the July, August all-time highs. You out of your mind? The fucking treasury companies are coming in. BlackRock's coming in. They want that discount. You'd imagine. I can't wait to look back in time and how long it took for them to eventually come around. People say it's wishful thinking because it hasn't happened yet. If you don't think that's happening, BlackRock, okay, not even XRP, just other cryptos, eventually, I don't know, you're fucking delusional, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Just a couple of weeks ago, Brad Garlinghouse explained things to Tom Lee. Timing is everything. Bitcoin and Ethereum DATs are in trouble after a year of relentless promotion. It can't be a coincidence that XRP ETFs and DATs are rolling out during all of this. Literally as it's going on, almost like a rising phoenix, because they were kind of equating it to Amazon stock, and there was a lull for a good while. It just stayed flat at a low price, and then eventually it just hit that moment, that break free moment, bro. High School Musical shit. I loved this clip too. Yet again, putting it right in your face.
You're demonstrating that we don't have a global consensus about crypto, even in this conversation. And I agree that it still is early, partly because there is not a global consensus about some of these things. And I think some of the use cases, we're still extremely early in terms of scaled use cases. Circle is certainly one example that has started to have a scaled use case around a stable coin.
Yes.
But I think the crypto industry, I agree, the next 16 years, I think will be better than the last 16 years because you'll finally see applications emerging that up until now have just been the store of value story or speculation.
Yeah.
You're
Keyword.
demonstrating that we don't have...
Dude, that whole clip is golden. And he just, if you haven't seen it, it's somewhere on my channel. And he's just like, I'm getting a call right now from the prince, so we're going to have to wrap up here. Hey, Richard, what about Bitcoin? Isn't Bitcoin so great? Just completely dismisses and ignores and moves on from what Brad said. Like, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, I don't know what the fuck else to say it. It's such an insane clip. These guys, man, they're out here pumping. This is going to be a great fucking movie if it happens. Going to be a great movie. Because yet again, the big guys want to come in and scoop it all up. They want to scoop it all up. If they take down MicroStrategy, they're going to be able to scoop it up. But, it's a 50-50 coin toss, which is what's so exciting about this moment. That's the only variable that's different this time to me compared to other crashes, because yet again, they all have the same sentiment, and then you're like, everything's fine, but this moment, this seems like they're putting this is either the ultimate fear pressure, and then they're gonna let off the gas and save Sailor and then throw him up there to be a poster boy of like, he made the greatest story ever, and he forever lives in infamy as the greatest investor of all time. They make movies about him. This guy, he believed in Bitcoin and it paid off, and now he fucking has his own planet out in the crazy movie. I can see them doing that too. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications to help the YouTube video. Join our group, the Minutemen, with the Patreon linked in the description below. It helps support the channel so I can do daily videos too. And exclusive videos there weekly, multiple a week. And that's it. Appreciate you. I will see you in the next one.